What did you learn from your first serious relationship? Getting into a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship is the worst reason to be in a relationship. Likewise, liking someone because they like you is the worst reason to like someone. You want to date a person, not their company. There is a difference between caring and controlling. That just because you're into someone fully, they're not necessarily into you to the same degree. Not to ever lose yourself in another person. You may love them intensely with every fiber of your being, but you should never compromise who you are or how you feel and let your love for them become your entire life. Remain true to yourself and embrace your individuality and ensure you keep parts of your life just for you, not all for them. You cannot fix someone's flaws, negative thoughts, etc. if they are not ready to do it themselves. You can try, sure, but if you're doing your best, putting in 110%, and still have to make excuses for your partner's shitty attitude to everyone around you, get the FCK out. A few things. You can be super into the person, yet they don't feel the same. First loves don't always last. You're gonna make mistakes no matter how careful you are. Long story short, that love makes you blind is not just a saying. That love isn't just about the fluffy things like kisses and hugs and pretty words. If you don't feel understood, if you're not willing to stick with each other through thick and thin, then it's nothing but a hollow, superficial one. That you shouldn't get that attached until you've matured enough. Heartbreak's a bitch. People change. You change. If you feel like it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. Don't feel guilty to break up because your partner might have the same feelings but she is afraid to talk. 2 things. And then BSP. First, after an abusive relationship, healthy relationships feel dull, empty, because they don't have the intense highs and lows that you've gotten used to. It's tempting to go back. And then BSP. Second, listen to your dad when he tells you not to go back to a poisoned relationship. Like he phrased it in a really cheesy way, and he started wearing socks with sandals in public, and he did recently have to ask you if Alaska is a state or not. But he's right about this one. If a relationship went bad the first time, you won't be able to keep those hard feelings from spilling over into the second time. It's just going to prolong the end of the relationship and use up that much more of your time. That some people who suffered extreme mental abuse from their parents as a kid will carry over those same issues if they refuse to get help during their teens. You are nobody's savior. If they refuse to get help for their own issues, then you don't need to put up with their shitty behavior. On and off isn't worth it. If you break up more than twice, just leave. After a fight or something bad, it's important to talk about what you learned and what you'll do to stop it happening again. It's the argument equivalent of BDSM aftercare, and is extremely important. We parted as close friends. We still are, and always will be. I learned that it's possible, even though most other couples I've known parted on sad or bitter terms. Honestly, people change and you shouldn't feel bad about that. My first serious relationship happened between 20 and 25. I was, and still am, young. But those were the years where my worldview was still being developed and drastically changing. Some people have life figured out and a plan by then. Most don't. I thought I was okay with attaching my life to someone else's goals and dreams. But it turns out I had my own desires, and that's okay. It's okay to realize even if you once wanted the same things as someone else. It's okay if you don't anymore. That love continues after death. To have your own lives outside of the relationship. For example, hobbies, friends, etc. She taught me that you have to live your own life. Do not depend on anyone's perspective. Oddly enough, my first lesson was pretty obvious, but still something I needed to learn. First relationship would always tell me she didn't have time for things. Didn't have time to talk about issues. Didn't have time to see me. So on and so forth. You make time for the things and people you care about. That you can have a friendship that is pretty meaningful come from it. Not many people know me like she does and vice versa. We are definitely not interested in being together. God she TS me sometimes as I do her. But I love her. And I know she feels the same. You go through a lot with your first love. You're young and you make so many mistakes with this first love. It's untamed and intense and can take you right to the edge and back. It's been 20 years since we ended it. I still care about her. Take care of yourself before you spend time with others. I was so burdened to go pick her up. Some weeks I didn't even wanna. Long days at work with split weekends meant I barely had time to relax or do what I wanted. At near the end I snapped when she complained it's been over a week since I seen you. Told her that relationships are stupid and we're breaking up. After a month I started feeling better. Lonely but better. I need me time. When your best friend says they don't like your partner, maybe you should listen. At the same time, if they say that your partner is not for you for some dumb reason, maybe you shouldn't listen. Just because your boyfriend wants you to do something you aren't obliged to consent. Emotional manipulation is a thing. Also, manipulators turn psycho if you dump them. First serious relationship doesn't have to end up on marriage. And thank God for that. Breaking up is actually a good thing sometimes. People change and adapt to new settings outside of your relationship. It's not bad, but sometimes it might not be right for you. Your heart will get broken, but it absolutely gets better. Way better. Not everyone is on the same equal maturity level as you are. I mean this by saying once you break up with someone and you try to be an adult about it, don't be surprised when they try to get all their guy friends to intimidate and try to fight you. Don't put others before yourself to the detriment of your own well-being and mental health. No matter how much they love you or how guilty you will feel putting yourself first. Don't make someone your priority if they make you an option. It's very easy to get obsessed over someone and ignore everything else. No one is perfect. Even if you feel wholeheartedly that they are. There's more to a healthy relationship than just saying cute words and hanging in the same space. No one dies of heartbreak and you learn to love again. That I'm allergic to Cardiff. As someone from Wales, I really wanna hear the story behind this. Love yourself more. That I picked the right person to be my partner. Get out of here with your happiness. Semicolon. I learned that Diana is a cheating bitch. Is that you, Charles? That girls, too, can make the bathroom stink. Long distance is a bitch. Everyone has faults. Sometimes you can take all the right steps and still lose. I'm looking for baggage that goes with mine rent. I never understood this growing up. I thought, if you love a person enough, you can work through all the baggage they have. Their past and their present issues. I learned from my first real relationship that that isn't always the case. Sometimes, a person's baggage is just too much. And you shouldn't fault yourself for not being able to make it work. Still in said relationship. Hoping to propose next year. And I've learned a lot. 1. It's not hard. That asterisk is important. A strong relationship is not difficult to maintain, assuming that you never break one of pillars of the relationship. Trust, honesty, giving of yourself, and growing with your partner. Break one of those 4 and it will never fully be repaired. Work to maintain and protect them and your relationship will remain strong. 2. Not every day is googly eyes and SI times. We talk of relationships as this all-encompassing emotional high. It isn't always like that. Like right now, my girlfriend is in the middle of a ridiculously busy stretch. She's in weddings. A job just upped hours. She's doing a bunch of stuff. There is no time to be romantic on the beach, so to speak. I'm just there for her to vent to and blow off steam. I'll make the bed when she's out. Soon enough we will be relaxing in bed and enjoying the morning. Right now it's rough for her. Just be there. Truly be there and listen. That at any point, and for any reason, no matter how in love you are with the person or how in love you think they are with you, no matter how many years you've been together, how many memories you've shared, how many promises you've both made, and despite whatever plans you've made with them in the future, they can always turn around and tell you, I don't want you anymore. And just like that, your life has changed completely. And there's nothing you can do about it except try to survive, move on. Red flags are red flags. Don't ignore them because you've been with the person with a while. If it seems shady, it is. Also that I have the capability of being extremely jealous when watching my girlfriend get FK'd by another guy. That you can love someone completely, but that at the end of the day, you can't sacrifice your core values to make the relationship work. Eventually, the love won't be enough to overcome that and all you'll be left with is resentment. If she cheated with you. Trust isn't some buzzword. If you can't trust your partner, just stop now and find someone new. Also, them having their own friends' hobbies is a good thing. Sucks being your partner's only source of entertainment. Even in a relationship with constant communication, women can bottle their emotions up and not talk about something that really bothers them. And then one day they will suddenly dump you, leaving you wondering where it went wrong. Thanks a lot, Sophia. Men do this too. You know. Been the recipient of passive aggression and withdrawal from guys. Humans in general need to be better at expressing honest feelings. You cannot expect someone to be content with you until you are content with yourself. How relationships work. Just. People function in a different way when they're together. Quite different to friends or family. Your time stops being entirely 100% your own. I like my alone time. My phone off. By myself. The shock of this not being the case if I wanted to continue hit me like a ton of bricks. Also, neediness is crap. Don't be that person. How easy it is to take an amazing relationship for granted if you've never been in a bad one. Every relationship takes work, but some will feel like you working together and others will feel like you're always working against each other. Also, how amazing it is to be woken up in the morning to the girl you love giving you a blowjob. Love can really blind you and make you brush off the serious parts of your relationship. Many late night tears for what I thought was for no reason. That I'm not actually interested in being with anyone at all. Some of us love solitude too much, and being accountable to anyone is such a restriction of freedom that just being with someone is suffocating. It's a weird place to be when all of human history. I cheated on her one time. It was terrible. The guilt. The fear of getting caught. I was 19. And I decided that the only way I could justify not telling her was to never ever cheat on her or any other future partner again. I didn't, and I haven't. We lasted as a couple for another 3 years or so. I learned that if you're tempted enough to cheat on a serious partner, you're not serious enough about that partner. Either get out of the relationship and live your life, or double down on your commitment and be the kind of person that you would want to be with. That if you don't give them the attention they need, they'll find someone else to provide it. I disagree. Even if you give it to them, they'll look for another if you aren't up to their standards. Nothing wrong with having a standard or type though. Sometimes it ends because it's the right relationship with the wrong person. Sometimes it ends because it's the wrong relationship with the right person. Everything can be right and it still ends. Luck has as much to do with a relationship as effort. Just how naive I was when it came to women. That some women will take a man and use them up for all they can and toss them to the side. It has been 22 years and I still wouldn't piss on that bitch if she was on fire. FCKU Ashley.